Well, hello, friends. Mark Holmes here with my buddy Cowboy Jobu, and as always, thank you guys for watching, commenting, and subscribing to the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, this literally doesn't work. Sorry, I'm actually a few minutes late getting started. I had a little bit of technical difficulties getting started with the computer system. My extra screen wasn't working right, and I could not get the thing. I normally have actually the laptop computer with extended screens, one with the comments so that way I can look ahead and see the comments with you guys, and the other one so I can see the OBS software. Well, unfortunately, I couldn't get the OBS software screen going for whatever reason. It's not reading, and my mouse just kept disappearing on me as I kept trying to go through and do it. Fortunately, I had Michael Anthony Fitness helping me out to try and get this stuff squared away, and we're a little bit late. How you doing, Boomer Sooner? In fact, I forgot to bring my glasses, so it's like I'm wide open eyes here. We learned Garrett sucks ass. Well, we can only hope that Garrett gets a little bit better, Daz. You know what? You can continue to say he sucks, we hate him, we don't want him, but here's the reality. He's what we got. It ain't changing this year. We can hope that maybe this year will be the year that he finally gets it and that we'll do a little bit better. I mean, that's all we can do. So pounding on there saying he sucks, he's an idiot, and everything else, it's counterproductive. Right now, he's got the keys to the Dallas Cowboys. He's in charge, and we have to pin our hopes on him. If it ends up being another wasted, failed season, well, then we have to deal with that in the offseason. We'll go back to bashing him then. But right now, why continue to do it? It doesn't work. It's like the same thing where all you people out there keep saying, Dak sucks, Cat can't do this, that. What good is it going to do? What good is it going to do? You think you're going to make him better by saying he sucks? How about we try lifting the guy up and saying, you know what? You weren't perfect last year. You got work to do. We believe in you. Put some good mojo out there for the guy. I mean, you guys are brutal. You know, you guys instantly expect everybody to be perfect on every single play. Shout out to you too, Ricky Heiss, Jose, Luis, Ricky, Pat, Stephanie, Sandman. What's going on, Sandman? Sandman always sends me great ideas and stuff. Clifford McKinney. But it drives me crazy with the negativity. Listen, yeah, our team hasn't been to the Super Bowl in 20 some odd years. At least we've had some exciting football. We could be the freaking Cleveland Browns that went 0-16. I mean, seriously. Why don't we see what this team's going to do? Instead of condemning them before we even had the first pad on for the season. Jeez, I think Jobu needs a refill right now. In fact, maybe I need one. It just drives me up the wall, the amount of hate. Cleveland Brown, what's going on? Presley Mitchell, hey Marky Mark, and the rest of the funky bunch. Oh boy, I haven't been called that in a long time. Preach, bro, him. But it is what it is. Now, a lot of people are out there still pissed off that we cut Dez Bryant. And it's amazing that as much as everybody said we can't survive without Dez Bryant, it seems like 31 teams right now can survive without Dez Bryant because nobody has signed him other than Baltimore tried to. I mean, when guys are signing Brandon Marshall and Dez is not even getting a tryout, that's not good. And word is he might not be signed before training camps open up. And I've got to be honest with you, with Dez Bryant's history of route running and matching up with quarterbacks, that's the worst thing that can happen for him. He needs to get in and start learning the playbook now with somebody. You don't want to wait until training camp gets here, when everything is really put in. Because here's what happens with football now. It's not like the days of when I used to play football, okay? We used to have a morning full padded practice. We'd have an afternoon special team practice. Then we'd have another full practice. And in between, we had class. They don't do all of the hitting that they used to before. They don't do all the route running and everything that they used to. You've got one padded practice per day X number of them, I forget exactly how many it is before the season starts, and only 11 after the season starts. So you need to get him in sooner than later for him to be effective for somebody. You think Dez is done? You know, I think a lot of teams are weighing his worth versus the drama that goes with him. You know, every time something happens, Dez is right there on Twitter or Instagram and things like that. You know, the whole thing of, oh, I want to play for the 49ers. Somebody got to him and said, Dez, stop that.
The 49ers came out and said, I don't want you.
Yeah, and you know, well, I'd like to go to Green Bay. Green Bay, stop.
Green Bay don't want you.
Right now, you look like a girl, a desperate woman who's just broken up with somebody, who's just trying to get with somebody. You look and smell like desperation. But be that as it may, that's not our issue anymore. Our issue is the guys that we have that so many people are down on. And it's amazing to me because some of the comments I get lots of them. I try and read all of them. I try and comment as many as possible, but it's hard to get through to all of them. You know, I get some, of course, the Eagle haters that say that Cowboys have no receivers, your quarterback sucks, and your coach is an idiot. Okay, all right. Mark Sampson's up tonight in England. Goes to show you how worldwide the Dallas Cowboys are. But here's the thing. These guys are unknown quantities. A lot of them are. Or they're guys that are trying to rehab their career. It doesn't matter where you're drafted in the NFL. The point is that you get an opportunity. Derek Young, thank you. You get an opportunity to become a guy. You know, everybody looks and says, oh, well, you don't have name players. But look, we haven't had name players in our defense in forever, other than Sean Lee. We haven't had Pro Bowl players on our defense, other than Sean Lee and DeMarcus Lawrence this year, for years. Yet, that team has constantly gotten a little bit better each year. The thing that they're missing is turnovers. 8th in defense, 12th in points, 18th in turnovers. If they can start getting turnovers, all of a sudden it's going to be a whole lot different look for our defense and a whole lot different result for our offense. We just have not been able to get turnovers since 2014. 2014, we're second in the NFL. 15, 16, 17, not so good. But I feel good about the changes with some of the coaches. And Sandman must be reading my mind. Alexander working with the offensive line. We have a good offensive line, but they regressed last year. You know, Tyron Smith got hurt. We ended up losing Ron Leary and Doug Free. You know, Collins had to go from playing guard and coming back from being injured to playing, you know, tackle and playing some of the best pass rushers in football every week. And then guard situation was kind of in flux. So, yeah, we kind of regressed on the offensive line, which kind of had a cascading effect on the rest of the team. When the offensive line can't block, the quarterback, generally speaking, isn't going to do good. Dak Prescott, he regressed. First half of the season, he was doing pretty good. Second half, not so much. But all that goes along with everything because it's not about just one guy. It's about the whole team in general. You've got to have everybody on the same page and everybody flowing and working together. But it's clear that our offense is going to get back to our bread and butter, and that's running the damn ball with Zeke Elliott. And quite frankly, I think that's the best thing for this offense. You're not going to see 5,000 yards and 40 touchdown passes from Dak Prescott because that's not the offense that we run. And if we have to rely on Dak Prescott throwing 40, 45 touchdown passes, we're going to be not going to be winning. We are a ball control offense, and that helps the defense. That ends up making the other teams more one-dimensional because they're having to play faster, more passing to try and keep up. Because if you are pretty much grinding out 10-minute drives and scoring touchdowns, the other team's got to say, we got to hurry up and score. Do I think the Cowboys will try to trade for a starting? You know what, Steamin' Willie Beeman? You literally are just hating. No, they're not going to be trading for a starting quarterback. It's amazing the trolls that we get on here. Well, we had Clifford. I don't know. We lost him. Clifford, try and call us back again, buddy. We got Clifford and David calling in, and
You just click the add right here if you want to add somebody to the group.
where,
Where it says the add person, that's where I had to add someone to the group when they call
Okay.
one. Yeah, there's David right there. David right there.
okay,
Yeah, click on him and then they'll add him to the group.
okay.
And
And where's Clifford? Getting some extra help from Michael Anthony. Okay, here.
yeah,
Okay, so we got David. Okay.
and oh yeah, then click the plus.
Plus, where's the plus?
Like right where it says him that add.
Plus. Okay. And add people to this call.
Yep.
Hey,
Okay.
Mark.
Hey, how are we doing?
There he is. There he is.
Okay, let me
Right
see.
here on where it says all.
Okay, merge calls.
Yep.
Okay,
Yep,
we're working on getting this together.
Yep, you got it this time.
Okay, hold
Yes,
on.
we are good to go. Yes, let's get his
All
picture
right, do
together.
I have Clifford there? Clifford, you there?
You get your picture.
Okay, I get Clifford's picture. How you doing, David? Hey,
Doing good. And you, man?
I am doing great. Let's see, close all that. Just trying to see where Clifford is.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. This is my man David. David and Clifford have a show together, and
You got the
Yeah,
I think
Cowboys
it's
talk with David and Cliff.
yeah, if we can get Cliff back on here.
You had it
I thought I had him.
because the
Okay, well there's David, and I think I lost add to group call. Let me see where he is. Okay, we don't want that.
you might have to call back.
Well, I tell you what, David, tell me while I'm figuring this out. Tell everybody about your show.
Let me tell him to call back in.
My show is called The Dallas Cowboys Talk with David and Cliff. We're a pretty new show to the
Mhm.
Cowboy Nation. We talk a lot about different topics concerning the Cowboys on a daily basis.
Mhm.
We try to get a little comedic value to the show as well, not to be so serious, you know.
And then add to call.
Also have a giveaway where we're giving away an Ezekiel
Yeah,
Elliott
there it is. You have to get his pick. No,
Ohio State jersey.
Okay.
it was working. You hung up on him.
Did I hang up on him? Okay.
Yes.
But it was red. Okay.
Yeah, when it's red, that means that they're.
But once we
Okay.
reach the 500
Might
subscriber,
have again.
we'll do a drawing to give away the jersey. Once
Okay.
you like, comment, and
And-
subscribe.
Yeah, and Michael Anthony over here helped me try to get Clifford back on here.
Yeah, because you hung up on him.
I'm
What?
sorry, Clifford, but I should be able to call him back. But he's added to the call.
Do I need to hang up at all, or
No, I don't think so, because I got it. You're here. I just need to get Clifford back. Okay, I think we're calling him.
Yeah. I think-
Okay, sorry, I ended up accidentally hanging up on your partner there. I'm still new getting this stuff together.
It's okay.
And tonight's been one of those nights that I had some problems with the computer trying to get the multiple screens and stuff, and things going.
no problem?
Yeah, so it hung up on me. Oh, okay, it's trying to call him. Call failed. Try one
Yeah,
more
because
time.
that means it's trying to call him.
Or he might be trying to call me as we're trying to call him. But anyway, we've got OTAs that have been going on in tap here. How do you feel thus far about what you've been seeing on the field?
So I've been very excited. I'll start with just the offensive line, right? So with Connor Williams, he's already working with the ones.
Mm-hmm.
Let me call him.
He's already in the ear of Travis Frederick. I was reading about him missing a tackle on a play with Dayton Jones, just blitzed through the middle.
Right.
And so Travis Frederick had to pull him to the side, kind of coach him up a little bit. So I'm excited about that dynamic of adding him to the offensive line
Let me call
Right.
him.
and being around the Pro Bowlers that we currently have. And then when you look at the defensive line, all I've been hearing, a lot of people were down on Taco last year.
Well, I've been
Because,
liking what I've been hearing from Taco. So far from training camp, he realizes that, hey, I want to do more than what I did last year. But what most people don't seem to understand is that it takes defensive ends and defensive linemen a year to really get to be able to play underneath their belt. Nobody comes out of the gate all of a sudden getting 7, 8 sacks their first year. If you look at DeMarcus Lawrence, he only had 2, and that was in the playoffs against the Lions his first year. He got 8 that second year and then regressed the next year. So, yeah.
People forget where we drafted him. So people look, because I remember when Taco came out, a lot of people said, "Oh, I wanted who that went to Pittsburgh."
Yeah, T.J. Watt.
Yeah, T.J. Watt. So people compared him to Watt, but to your point, when defensive ends are drafted, especially lower in the draft, it takes them 2 to 3 years just to come into their own because you're not.
It really does. That and wide receivers as well, which is why I'm happy that we didn't go wide receiver first round as well. But it takes time. But the fact that he was able to get 3 sacks along with, I want to say, 29 tackles.
Yeah, exactly. For the season, he's a different player than he was. That's all you can ask for.
Well, and not being a starter, because when we drafted him, we looked at him being a starter from day one. But DeMarcus Lawrence, which everybody had pretty much given up on. A lot of people last year at this time were saying this is a do or die season for DeMarcus Lawrence. And if DeMarcus Lawrence doesn't start doing something, then maybe it's time to cut bait with him. All of a sudden, he went from 1 sack the year before to 14.5. And boom, now everybody's, DeMarcus Lawrence is great. But it's like, look at the body of work. It took time for him to get to that 14.5 sacks. If we can get Taco to 7 or 8 sacks, we're doing pretty good.
I believe Taco can get there because all I've been hearing about Taco is that he's stronger and he has some new pass rush moves now. Mm-hmm. That's one thing he had to work on during the offseason. I believe he is a hungry player. He sees what DeMarcus Lawrence did last season. Him and DeMarcus Lawrence are pretty close. So him and DeMarcus Lawrence actually work out after the practice on different moves and things like that. So he has a good player coaching him up as well. And I believe that he's going to be a better player this year. So he's still probably going to play behind. He's going to be in a rotation, but he's going to add more capturing the edge around in the offensive tackle, using his hands to get off the ball. Not because he had an issue last season with rushing high instead of keeping it pad level low and dipping up under the offensive lineman. So if he can keep his pad level low this season and use his speed to get around the edge, even though he was slow in his 40, he still has some speed to get around the edge and strength with his long arms to capture the edge.
Well, here's the interesting thing is because we've got a log jam right now on defensive line because there's going to be a few guys that are going to be odd men out. When you start thinking about, DeMarcus Lawrence, DeMarcus Lawrence, he's going to be, of course, there. But you got Tyrone Crawford, you got Kona Ely, who is trying to resurrect his career, and I think that this is a great place for him to be with the Cowboys underneath Rod Martinelli. Rod Martinelli has a way of taking guys literally off the scrap heap and getting the most. No, seriously, getting the most out of them. Very rarely have we signed somebody on the defensive line. Everybody's like, oh, shit, who's this guy? He's a bum. And, he'll make multimillionaires out of them because they'll go someplace else and get paid, George, like I said, George Selvey was, I hate to always use him, but he's the perfect example of a journeyman who 4 different teams, and then all of a sudden he comes to Dallas, gets 8 sacks, goes to the Giants, gets paid, and then he's out of the league, a year after that. So, seriously. And everybody from the Cowboys that end up going to the Redskins and stuff, they go through, they get paid with the Redskins, and boom, they're gone.
At that point. So
we got. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I was gonna say when you're talking about the odd man out, even because you mentioned Taco, D-Law, Coney Ely, and Crawford. You got Dorrance Armstrong, Dayton Jones. If Randy Gregory comes back, so I think the odd man out is going to be Charles Tapper. Because I make a joke all the time. Charles Tapper has more surgeries than the Kardashians. So.
Well, with him getting that concussion this week, it's like this is supposed to be non-contact, and you got a concussion this week. That's not good. And with all the other guys, because we also have Jihad Ward that we've signed, which is another guy who hopefully is trying to resurrect his career as well. And then, of course, you've got Randy Gregory, who's trying to go. Okay. Let's see.
There you go. Don't touch that thing. It's a good thing on this camera one.
Okay.
Because you can hear
we got
now.
Clifford. Are you there, Clifford?
I'm
Yeah,
here.
the thing.
You're there. Okay. We can hear you. We don't see your picture, though.
That might be okay, though.
Okay. Let me click in. Let me see.
There you go.
Got it.
There we go.
We're good. We're good.
Okay.
Yeah, good to go.
All right. Okay, Mike, how do I go back up to the two of them on the screen here?
It was already.
Oh, no, because I got Clifford big, and Clifford is big, and I've got me and David down low. There we go. Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay.
Good to go tonight.
We're good to go tonight. Sorry, guys. Having some technical difficulties. I'm trying to intern Michael to become my AV guy and stuff, and I may just have to just start paying the guy.
Hey, I just learned how to do this too. So
Okay,
I just
so
learned too.
welcome to the show. We have Clifford and David, who have a new YouTube channel. Clifford says it's inspired by me. I don't want to take. I don't know if I want to take credit or blame or what on that one, but Clifford does a mean brisket, and I got to get back down to Dallas to get some of that brisket. And unfortunately, I screwed up. Don't know how I screwed up and didn't get you in the call. But we were talking about defensive line, something that's near and dear to me. I played nose tackle, and I truly believe you win from the defensive line or offensive line out. And if you cannot control the line of scrimmage, you're not going to win very many games.
I agree with that. I do. I wish we would have addressed the one technique, like me and David always discuss, that we would address that where we got some type of pressure up the middle, making it very uncomfortable for the quarterback to step up in the pocket.
You're preaching to the choir here on this one.
Yeah, man.
I was pretty shocked that we let the Quentin, Osborne go on this year. So soon, because I thought he had some potential. He had a nice little motor behind him, and he seemed like he created a lot of havoc on our defensive line, and actually demanded a double team here and there. Sometimes in the Big 12, people might say that's not really a big conference, but it was the Big 12, and now he demanded a double team. The dude created havoc a lot.
Oh, without a doubt. But the Cowboys, I don't understand why they don't believe in the one technique.
I never understood that either, because you have to have someone that can take on.
You guys remind me about turning on the lights. Sorry, the lights are now on. Yeah, I'm trying to pay attention to it, guys. There's a lot that goes on here because I've got two guests that are right here. I've got the boxes in front of me, and I've got the whole soundboard. So I do miss a few things. But, I don't know why the Dallas Cowboys don't believe in that one technique, because to me, if you can control that line of scrimmage, it does so much more for you. You can have a great cornerback, but if you don't have a pass rush, guy's not going to be able to hold up for 7-8 seconds. And we've seen Aaron Rodgers just run around all over the field. Eventually, somebody's going to come free. If you can't control the line of scrimmage and your linebackers are getting killed, then you're not going to make very many plays. And we've seen that without Sean Lee, that we have been gutted in running the football. But yet they still believe, we like defensive ends. And it seems like they have a body type that they love. They love long, lean guys, 6'5", 6'7", about 290 pounds or so, which is great for defensive end, but not so much for tackle in my mind.
Yeah,
Go ahead, David.
I understand having defensive ends, but you use them really when teams are trying to come from behind. You can just tee off on teams. Right. But trying to control the line of scrimmage on first and second down, you got to have somebody, a run stuffer, they can take on two blocks to free up your linebackers.
Yeah.
But also, with having that guy that can take on one or two blocks, it keeps your linebackers healthy and standing upright and being able to make plays, i.e. keeping Sean Lee in the game and stuff. And also having those 6'7" guys, it's hard for them to get up under the shoulder pads of the center and the guards who will actually be able to drive them back to the quarterback. Yeah. And that's why I wish we would actually have a big, fat, ugly guy that actually is not 6'7" or so, at least 6'1", maybe 6'2", who can actually get up under the shoulder pads and drive them back into the lap of the quarterback. And then they won't be comfortable back there at all.
Right. Dallas critical fan wants to know, how do we have so much to say in the offseason? Hey, it's football. There's so much. It's the Dallas Cowboys. And Clifford, if you could do one thing, man, we know that you're strong, But basically, look, listen, we're looking at all forearms. We can't actually see your face. So you might want to turn the camera up just a little bit. I mean, that's good. Hey, that's good when I need to intimidate some of these trolls up in here and say, this is my bodyguard and all that. But we just see it. There you go. Yeah, we got jokes here tonight. But welcome, everybody, to the show. MD Scotty, how are you doing? Virginia's finest, Dallas critical fan. Like I said, it's the Dallas Cowboys, man. If it weren't for the Dallas Cowboys, the talking shows would have absolutely, positively nothing to talk about because they keep them in business. Now, there was another question here I was trying to see. Jackie, why does I love this question? Why does the media always have so much to say about the Cowboys?
Because they make money.
Hey, they get the star on the helmet.
Well, okay. You think you're gonna get paid talking about the Cleveland Browns?
No, we don't even know. Like, I don't think we know they got the Hard Knocks coming up. That's about it.
Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
Their whole team Hard Knocks. So
only their quarterback still in crab legs. That's all I know.
Tennessee Titans.
Nothing.
I don't even know who's on their team.
DeMarco Murray is anymore. Exactly. They know it's a win-win because there's more Cowboy fans anywhere you go. And like I was driving today with Michael, here it is. We get a lot of grief because I'm a Dallas Cowboy fan that lives outside Washington, D.C. And they say we're just bandwagon fans. But I'm sitting here riding to work, and here is a Pepsi truck which says, all in for the Redskins. You know, constantly in my face, I'm seeing Redskins crap everywhere I go. I dare say being a Cowboy fan away from Dallas is harder than being a Cowboy fan in Dallas.
It should be hard being a Redskins fan. They trash every year.
Well, that's true. You know, this is true. We do kind of own the place around here, but be that as it may. So, with that defensive line, with this log jam, who do you think is going to be the odd man out? Because not all these guys are going to be here.
Tapper.
Well, okay, besides Tapper, because we still, if Randy Gregory's reinstated, you know they're going to keep him because he's basically getting a ham sandwich for salary.
I would say Charles Tapper or Dayton Jones.
Now, see, Dayton, he's interesting actually to me. I've met Dayton. Dayton, he's more of a tackle than the defensive end style. I mean, he's about 6'2", about 3. Well, he's listed at 295, but I remember Dayton being a lot more stout than that. I think he's pushing over 3. He's getting longer than 2.
Crawford would probably be the odd man out.
Well, Crawford, he's the biggest cap hit. Oh, other than DeMarcus Lawrence. I mean, he's $9 million, but you don't save Jap cutting him this year. I think that this is basically his last year with the Cowboys.
Somebody be on the practice squad because the Cowboys historically carry about 8 defensive linemen into the season. So that's counting, the defensive tackles as well. So I think last year was about 4 defensive tackles, 4 interior players. So I think since we have less interior players, we don't have that much depth with our interior players. I feel like they may carry more defensive ends than they do tackles.
Right, and just rotate him in because really that's what they ended up doing with David Irving last year. Was basically playing him at tackle more than anything else, which he wreaked havoc. Don't get me wrong. I mean, 7 sacks in 8 games and stuff, but I still don't feel like that body is the body type to be able to hold up. A whole season. You're going to take a whole lot of wear and tear on that 6'5" frame, and you're also a bigger target in that run. It's hard to go ahead and hold that position if you're getting double team, you're getting blown out of there. But we need to also talk about our offense and our wide receivers or lack thereof. Something interesting from Sanjay today. He was saying that Cedric Wilson seems to be picking up the offense faster than anyone else.
Yeah, I read that too.
That could be trouble for Terrence Williams probably.
I think there's a whole lot of trouble for Terrence Williams in general. I mean, again, that's another one of those cuts that you don't get any money back on letting him go or anything. And at least he knows the offense. But if the NFL comes back and suspends him for that, I can guarantee he's gone.
Yeah, he's gone at that point.
Because that gives the Cowboys to be able to just cut that contract and get that money back.
Yeah, he'd be void of guaranteed money. So just like with Zeke last year.
Right.
So,
and I think what the Cowboys will do is they're going to be evaluating the guys that they're having and seeing how well they're progressing. If those guys progress well, then I think it may be bye Felicia for Terrence Williams.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. My whole thing, Mark, I'm sick of people saying that we don't have receivers because I feel like you got to let people prove themselves. Like, yeah, we don't know the big name, who these players are. For the most part, we know who Beasley is, but there were players that were drafted in this league who no one knew who they were, but they made a name for themselves.
Right. You're nobody until you're somebody.
Exactly.
And take a look at here's how you know this offense works. Take a look at New England. They were led actually by the tight end, and that's another issue we got to deal with. But Gronk had 69 catches. After that, your wide receiver, 65, was their best wide receiver. But everybody was grouped from about 40 to 60 in there because they kept passing the ball around. And everybody keeps saying, you got to have a number one, you got to have a number one. But tell me, what team with a great number one has won the Super Bowl?
That's what Cliff, I've been saying. Cliff,
exactly.
I mean, Antonio Brown. The Steelers have been back to the Super Bowl with Antonio Brown.
Nope.
The Lions had Megatron. Didn't they go on 16 with Megatron?
16 with Megatron.
Okay, I mean, am I wrong?
Yeah.
I mean, you had Chad Ochocinco, and we've had T.O. He did at least get to one Super Bowl, but it's not necessarily that you have to have this great wide receiver. I mean, the only one we've seen in the Super Bowl recently is Julio Jones.
Julio Jones.
And they were pass happy and they choked. But, be that as it may. So the whole narrative that everybody swears that without Dez Bryant we can't win, I don't believe that because I look at 2016. Cole Beasley led us in receptions.
Exactly.
They act like Dez Bryant literally had like 1,500 receiving yards in 2016 or something. Like he just been this player that he was in 2014 and 13 and 12. No, like we spread the ball around.
Wasn't he around for those 8 and 8 years?
Yes. And that did nothing.
All right. Okay. All right. But see, in my mind here,
me personally,
you're kind of breaking up on us a bit there. Is that on my end or your end?
Yeah, Cliff.
I think. Yeah, Cliff.
Okay, I'm sorry, but I think this will help Dak out this year of being able to spread the ball around the field. It's going to help him out a lot, and it's also going to create a lot of holes for Zeke this year. It's going to just cause a whole bunch of issues this year for defense because they're going to have to guess on if they want to put 8 in the box or they're going to want to drop back in zone. If they put 8 in the box, we kill them all day by everybody says dink and dunk.
Right.
But Dak's going to get the ball to the right man who's open.
Yeah, but see, and this is what drives me crazy. Everybody keeps, he's just a dink and dunk quarterback. Okay, here's the thing: it's a ball control offense. If you're scoring in 2 minutes, it's not helping your team out any. You're putting the ball on the other team. If you have a 10, 11, 12-minute drive where your defense is resting and you go down the field and score a touchdown, now that other team is becoming more one-dimensional to try and catch up and try and hurry up and score. Okay, people don't seem to understand that, hey, you're also playing with high percentages. When every time we went down the field, something deep with Dez Bryant, and it ended up being that it bounced off his face mask, or it was a drop, or there was a miscommunication or whatever, now it's 2nd and 10.
Exactly.
Yep.
Okay, 2nd and 10. Now that kind of changes how you're going to be able to roll. That kind of negates the running game there. So now you've got to continue to pass. I've seen so many times where the Cowboys have literally driven me crazy where they have a lead and they're still passing the ball. Understand, if you end up having a freaking incomplete pass, it only takes off 6-7 seconds off the clock.
Exactly. That's why I don't get why people say with the whole dink and dunk thing because, you're in a ball control offense. In 2016, we held the ball longer. Our time of possession led the NFL because we kept the ball. Like you said, we forced teams to be one-dimensional. Teams had to come back because we held the ball and put the ball longer and got scores, either touchdown or field goal while holding the ball.
Right, and that's the thing that was.
I feel that our best defense was our offense because we kept the ball in our hands and we kept the ball from turning it over.
It definitely was.
Great field position.
And that's the other great thing too is, and see, people look and say, oh well, Dak sucks because he only was 22nd or 21 or whatever in touchdowns and stuff, or in yardage. It's like you got to understand, it's a balanced offense, and if anybody,
how many times did Troy Aikman passed for over 20 touchdowns?
One time.
Exactly.
One
so
time.
People,
Okay.
because people so caught up with fantasy football, man. Like they want his numbers to be freaking Tom Brady or Drew Brees or something. That's not what this offense is.
But here's the way you look at it. Here it is. If you go back and look at Drew Brees' best seasons, where he's thrown 5,000 plus yards, most of the time they were 7 and 9. This past season, he was around 4,000 yards, and they had a running game, and he was more effective. It's about and people are sitting there thinking, oh well, Dak sucks because But wait a minute. Matt Ryan only had 20 touchdown passes this year.
Exactly.
Like only 20. Mariota only had, I think, 14 and made it to the playoffs, right?
Yes.
Exactly. There are not many quarterbacks that can put a whole team on their back and throw for 5,000 yards with no running game and still make the playoffs in this league. Like, it's not too many quarterbacks I could just name besides Brady, maybe Aaron Rodgers, Drew Brees, maybe. Yeah. But, like, what Dak does for our team is what we need him to do. But people act like, oh, he's Alex Smith. He's a dink and dunk. He's bus driver. Bro,
okay, you know what? If that was the case, then explain 2015 to me. Okay, because listen, we were 4th in the NFL rushing the football without an offense, without a passing game whatsoever. So clearly, we had actually that offensive line that was there in 2016. That's when Tyron Smith was healthy. That's when we had Doug Free was still relatively young. That's when we had a great offensive line. I mean, think about Darren McFadden rushing for almost 1,100 yards with scrubs for quarterbacks. But those guys that had experience in the NFL, couldn't win but one freaking game. So he took that same team that won one game with bus drivers and won 13. So please explain that to me. And they'll say, oh, well, it's just Matt Castle and Brandon Whedon. But you guys keep saying that he's the worst quarterback in the world and a dink and dunk. Well, clearly, if you're just dinking and dunk, anybody could do that. Then why didn't we be successful in 2015?
Exactly. He's accurate on those passes. Dak is real accurate in the intermediate routes. So, 2016 with no Dez, we threw the ball around. So everybody was open. Zeke was averaging about 153 rushing yards.
Right.
The offense is still a well-known machine without Dez as number one. We have Bryce Butler, Cole Beasley, Will out there.
You couldn't say that we had like the best wide receiver core in the NFL with that group, especially with Dez Bryant coming back from injury. But the difference here's where I think the difference was with Dak in 2016 and 17. When Dez came back and Dez wasn't getting the ball, he basically said, I'm going to throw to the man that's open. And it seems like this past year was, we're going to force the ball to Dez Bryant. Yeah. We're going to get the ball to him and get him going. It's not if he's open or not. We tried to get it to them, and I think defenses said, we're going to make sure that Dez Bryant can't get started, because that became the wedge issue for the team. You got Dez over there melting down and things like that. That's losing his cool because he wants to be part of the offense, and I understand that. That passion. I love the passion. But you got to understand that it's more important about the team than just me. Yes. And I think Dak just kept trying to get it to him, And when it's not working, and you're forgetting about the rest of the team and what you did that was successful in 2016. And of course, you didn't have Zeke Elliott, and your offensive line. Lord knows, when you talk about carrying the team on the back, you're not only talking about carrying your team, you're also carrying the Atlanta Falcons defensive on there too. Okay, and that's kind of hard to do.
Every time you bring up the Atlanta game, that's the day my son was born. I had to watch that game in the hospital.
Oh.
Yeah, Dak.
I was ready to go to the hospital after that game, man. Dak was ready to go to the hospital after that game because that was just ugly.
Mark, the thing is, I feel last year was probably Dak's best year because you seen him face adversity all last year with losing his running back, losing his left tackle, and going through what he was going through with interceptions and pick. Yeah. He still picked himself up off the field. Every game, after every snap, every play, he got hit a lot. He got hit a lot in the second half of the season, and he kept filling himself up.
But I also wonder, too, nobody's talked about it too much, though. Remember when he hurt his hand? We don't know how bad that hand was hurt and how many weeks that was actually affecting him as well.
Mm-hmm. want to discredit Dak just because I feel this is just me because he took Romo's position in 2016. I've always said it. It just they feel that he stole it. It should have been Romo's team in 2016, and we would have won a Super Bowl.
To a point. I can give you that, but think back to how they used to treat Tony Romo until 2014.
Yeah, exactly.
The stuff they're saying about Dak Prescott is exactly what they were saying about Tony Romo. Tony Romo's a bum. He's Tony Oh no. We need to get him out of here. Get somebody else. So it's like, okay, all right. Hypothetically, let's say we move on from Dak Prescott.
That'd be a bad decision.
No, but for all you people that say get rid of the bum, who you getting?
Exactly. Who out there?
Who you getting?
Are we getting Corner Cook, who we thought we was going to get in the draft?
Paxton Lynch.
Paxton Lynch, who hasn't even seen the field unless he had to tie his shoes, and that's it.
I mean, or you could have signed, like, say, Kirk Cousins, but Dak has beat Kirk Cousins 4 times.
Exactly.
And Kirk Cousins has had more turnovers in critical times, especially against the Cowboys. Seems like every time in the fourth quarter, because believe me, there's been 2 games there that I swore that we were losing at FedEx Field, and all of a sudden, boom, here it is. Kirk Cousins throws an interception in the end zone. We drive down the field with Dak Prescott, and win the game with Alfred Morris going in. So, all these people are saying, oh, he's such a better. No, listen, understand an important thing about football. Turnovers are key.
Exactly. When you don't turn over the ball like we did in 2016, limiting our turnovers, it was hard to beat us. Because if you're possessing the ball and not turning the ball over, how hard it is to beat a team like that?
That's exactly.
You get the ball,
you
got to score. Because when you get the ball back to that team, they're not going to turn the ball over. So that's why we had a great record in 2016. So we get back to
when you of course, Dak gets the he had the most pick sixes, but when you see Terrence Williams have the ball in his hand and it pops up, right to the guy, and boom, they walk in. I don't know how you blame that necessarily on the quarterback. Yes, the ball popped up and it was an interception, but the guy had it in his hands. And generally speaking, if you had the ball in your hands, you should catch it.
We know Terrence Williams. He all about catching. He catches more bodies than Sopranos,
Right. And so it amazes me because everybody talks about the exact placement that Dak Prescott makes, and I understand. You got back shoulder fade; it's got to be on the back shoulder. And people will say, especially the stinking New York Giant fan, will say that Eli Manning is such a better quarterback. And it's like, do you know how Odell Beckham became famous? Having to catch those out the building to try and catch these damn balls. Are you telling me that's where Eli meant to throw the ball? 12 feet above the guy. Come on.
That's where the receiver.
And I think they still lost that game too.
No, they did. And Odell actually got hurt after that as well. But that catch basically is the epitome of his career. He's great show, but not winning.
And he was in the basement as far as 59.4 accuracy and QBR. He was down there with Cam Newton.
Oh, yeah.
Interception.
Yeah, interceptions were up, touchdowns were down until they got OBJ. So that's where you have a case where the receiver actually makes the quarterback, not the other way around.
Well, Brian, I agree with you. I'm praying that the 8-8 era is definitely open. But, here's where I believe, and maybe you guys have a different perspective on it than I do. As far as Jason Garrett goes, it seems like right now he's got the car keys like he hasn't had before.
Yeah. I think if he get fired, he probably is. He's one of, your situation where you're the coach, right?
Yeah.
You want to go, if you're gonna get fired, you're gonna go out with the guys that you put in place. So that's what he is right now. Well, if he doesn't make the playoffs, he's fired. If we get one and done, I believe he's fired.
I agree.
I think Jerry and Steven are actually just saying, you know what? Let's see what you do with this team. There's no excuses this year. It's the third year for Dak. It's third year for Zeke. He's here with no suspension, nothing on his mind. They gave him the defense of 2-year players. So they're like, let's see what you're going to do this year. It's either, I'm not going to say Super Bowl bust, but I'm saying if we don't get out the first round, he's gone. That's just me. If we don't get out a wild card or the divisional, I think Jason Garrett's gone because we're tired of just stopping there. We need to get to the NFC Championship game that we haven't been in 20 years and get to the Super Bowl too. and this is going to be his make or break year. And he's trying to change his stripes, but we'll see when it comes to the time of the game and if it's clock management and adjustments, all that stuff starts. Yeah, if it all comes into fruition of this new Jason Garrett.
Right. Todd over here says he was in the hospital when his son was born at 1991, playing the Browns, decked out in Cowboys gear, and made 3 other women in the same room watch the boys, and have never missed a game since. Now, that's a true fan right there. Yeah. But, yeah, definitely Jason Garrett is, to me, it's because we haven't seen much of Jerry Jones.
Yeah, we haven't.
Think about it. I've not seen him during these OTAs at all. Jerry Jones was on vacation at the beginning of free agency.
Yeah, it's all Steven and Garrett and Will McClay.
Right. And, of course, the only thing that you've really seen from Jerry Jones was dealing with Dez Bryant. They basically said, you're going to be the bearer of the bad news here. Mm-hmm. Other than that, normally we would have all these reports from Jerry Jones. And, maybe it's with all or nothing that they're setting up the narrative that sink or swim, that Garrett will be the fall guy if the season doesn't go right. And that, we gave him the team. We put him in with the people that he wanted. And if it doesn't work, it's on him. But it seems like he is being the guy. I mean, with him not allowing David Irving to practice, that he's trying to hold people accountable. Going through talking about Rico Gathers this week.
Yeah, Rico's making the team, by the way.
I'm sorry?
He's not making it, by the way.
That was actually one of the questions I was going to have you. Is he the odd man out? Is he playing for just making the 53-man roster?
Yeah, because he can't run block. Like, the Cowboys ask you to block and catch.
Yeah.
He can catch, he just can't block. So they're not going to
save his life.
Yeah, exactly. They're not going to put him out there to block, and they know that they need, especially when they run 12 and 13 personnel.
Right.
They're not putting them there. So they don't have
Dalton Schultz. He has some nasty to him on blocking.
And blocking, but see, here's the thing though, is his route running is not that good. If we could merge the two of them, then we'd be great. But is there some way that we can put the two of them together? Because they said he's a beast. Now, he did go to Stafford with simply as Zach Ertz came out of. And the offense that they ran was truly a running offense. So he's like an offensive lineman. But I still believe that you need a pass-catching tight end in today's football.
I agree. Blake Jarwin to get a lot of opportunity as well this year. I know they really like him at tight end.
Yeah. But we all know one thing that we're going to be doing, and that's going to be running the damn rock.
Oh, yeah. Right. Zeke probably going to run the ball.
21 Savage.
Okay, right. It's going to be running, and then hopefully we'll start getting defenses sucked in, and we'll start rolling Dak Prescott out because Dak is deadly, rolling out. You're going to have basically one-on-one coverage with guys and doing some run option passing.
Yeah, exactly. And one thing I like about the receiving core, you got a lot of guys that are route runners, so they're going to be at the spot where Dak is going. He doesn't have to worry about being on the same page with his receivers because they all are running route to get open and getting out and winning at the line of scrimmage.
Right. Well, here's the thing that I like is that guys are having to fight for positions. We have a logjam at wide receivers and stuff. We got guys that want to make a name for themselves, and you're getting the hate from all of the talking heads out there. I think you're going to have guys that want to prove themselves. You got Dak out there who's always been, doubted.
Yes.
So, he's going to go out there to say, you know what? F y'all, I'm going to show you how it's done. Getting, Alan Hearns and Thompson, Trayvon Austin, these guys that are trying to resurrect their career that are in a good position because you have a running game. That takes some of that pressure off. And I think that those guys are going to be able to step up and do pretty well. I could be wrong, but I feel really, really good about this season coming up. If for no other reason that Jason Garrett is like a cat with 9 lives. Whenever it's been 8-8, 8-8, 8-8, and they said, Jason Garrett's on the hot seat, what happens?
He ended up going to the playoffs.
12, yeah. And then, of course, it was just you were a no catch away from making it to the championship game, right? 2015, okay, you can only win one game without Tony Romo. He's kind of on the hot seat. What happens? Boom. 2016.
14, 16, now we're in 18. So those
okay,
years.
so now, basically this is a contract year, okay? Because you don't have him come back 2019 on his last year of a deal. You don't have a lame duck coach. You either have to fire him at the end of this year or you have to extend him.
Yes.
One way or the other. You have to. You cannot. Although knowing Jerry Jones probably do some stupid stuff like that. But this is a make or break year for him, and the nightmare will continue because the Cowboys will be in the playoffs again.
I believe that. I think they got us ranked 3rd in the NFC East.
Yeah.
I don't know how, but behind the Giants. But
well, everybody believes. Hey, it's funny because everybody believes that Alex Smith is so far and away better than Kirk Cousins. Okay, yeah, that's what they believe. Now they did have a pretty good draft, at least on paper thus far. But the Redskins just have a way of just.
Redskins have no receivers. We don't have receivers. What receivers do the Redskins have?
This is true. They don't. You're right. They don't have receivers, and they
I
still.
can't even think about it. Who's the receiver core?
They got TCU.
Yeah, that's the only person.
They got our dude from TCU at the Redskins.
Yeah. But the Giants, now, I'm sorry, I just don't see the Giants. I mean, sorry, Eli Manning is a shell of himself, and we know quarterbacks can go downhill off a cliff real quick. Eli Manning is at the point where he feels some pressure. He's going to the ground.
Exactly. He got punch drunk out there. This dude, literally, if he get pressure, he throwing a pick, or like you said, going to a fetal position on the ground.
And the amount of turnovers he's
happy.
Yeah.
We don't know what their offensive line is still trash. I mean, they solidified the left side with Nate Solder and Will Hernandez. That's about it. Everybody else.
Yeah, but don't get me wrong. I'm happy when they're not picking us to do stuff because generally speaking, when we're expected to do something, we don't do jack.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping they keep doubting us. We get chips on our shoulders. And we get out there ready to rock and roll because I'm ready for the season to get here. I'm tired of waiting. I cannot wait for training camp, and literally we're 7 weeks away.
Hey, I know, man. I'm definitely
excited for this year. I got 3 things that I'm excited for this year.
You got 3 things you're excited for this year?
Yeah. Chris Richard.
Yeah. Oh, man, I think he's going to be a different maker.
Zeke now being more vocal, mature, coming in clear-minded, see what he's going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And also, I'm excited for our offensive line, getting back to the Great Wall of Dallas again. I want to see what our offensive line is going to come out here and do with Connor Williams this year. It's going to be nasty.
You will like Connor Williams because his ability as an athlete. I think this is going to be one of the most athletic offensive lines. We talking about pulling guards, like Connor, he's very athletic. So this dude's built like Tyron Smith. So when you see him come
with
around
an attitude too. Mm-hmm.
Good luck.
97 days till kickoff, guys. Not very far, man. It's coming a lot quicker than we think.
I can't wait.
Steambox. We have a gentleman. We have Cliff and we have David, 2 newer YouTubers. Guys, before we get out of here, tell everybody where to find you guys and tell them a little bit about your show.
So the show is called Dallas Cowboys Talk with David and Cliff. You can find us by searching on YouTube, Dallas Cowboys Talk with David and Cliff, or you can type in DC Talk with David and Cliff. And basically our show is just me and Cliff. We're friends. We've been talking about the Cowboys for a long time. And we just like, hey, let's get our show started. We looked at Mark Holmes, looked at other YouTubers and saw like all the content that you guys put out there. And we saw, hey, we talk about the Cowboys every day. Let's add value to the Cowboys Nation as well.
I'd say read between the lines. He said, if that idiot Mark Holmes can get out there and put some stuff on there, we damn sure can do that as well. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you with that one.
We try to bring realness to the show. We don't try to sugarcoat anybody. We keep it real.
Right.
We also, even keep it real with each other, on the show. We try to add some comedic value as well,
Yeah, Hawk Totem, thanks for subbing to David and Cliff, man. They appreciate that. But yeah, it's been actually a pleasure having you guys on here. I know you guys have been doing some work and stuff with Michael Anthony Fitness and things and stuff. So keep up the good work, man, and keep working hard for these Dallas Cowboys because Lord knows we need as many views as possible. And I want to thank everybody for tuning in tonight. This hour always goes by really, really quick, especially when I'm 5 minutes late getting started. But I appreciate all the support, and let's keep the faith. And guys, do me one favor. Understand, Jason Garrett is our head coach. He ain't going nowhere this season. We know about all the failures that we've had with him this, in the past. But he is our coach for this year. So beating up on him, saying how bad he is, and everything, it's not doing anything. Just putting out in the universe and setting ourselves up for failure. And that's the same thing with Dak Prescott. He's our quarterback. Win, lose, or draw. So instead of pounding down on the man, why don't we try and support him? Why don't we try and bring them up? Okay? MD Scotty, I appreciate the love on that, man. So with that being said, we are going to go ahead and get out of here. And hopefully tonight I will push the right button to turn it off. And I will see you guys Monday night here on the Joe Boo Sports Report. And we will see you later.